Bombers win again. Move to 2-0 on the season. How about this? Zachary Nolan. Thanks, buddy. Grabbing me my water as I decide to hit go live while I'm not prepared. What's going on, everybody? Let's get hydrated around the bonfire. Welcome inside. Bonfire Sports, Bonfire Winnipeg, and all of you in the live chat. Great to see everybody. Schnitzy's going to join me in just a moment. We're going to look through all the stats and my favorite part of the postgame, probably yours as well. We're going to look at some of the highlights, like right off the gate, like right out of the gate, right off the bat. How about maybe the best one of the day? And this is 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙚's 5-yard touchdown off the arm of Zach Collaros. Do you like that? Big man TD. Big man TD to put the cherry on top of the Sunday on a Saturday. The Bombers take both of the 2-game season series against the BC Lions. And look, the offense did what it needed to do. Zach Collaros, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I don't really understand what they were doing. I kind of understand what they were doing late in the game when he threw that second pick. But he had 179 yards, went 18 of 25, 72%, had a long of 48. And Nick Dembski keeps the streak alive. But, maybe I'm burying the lead a little bit. Zach Collaros hitting career touchdown number 200. Do you understand how big that is? Only 14 players in the history of this league, Zach Collaros, number 14, have ever thrown 200 career touchdowns. Most of those coming as a Winnipeg Blue Bomber. And I think we can probably have that conversation. Won't be tonight. Maybe it will be. Hit up the live chat. Tell me what you think. Is Zach Collaros the greatest quarterback in Blue Bombers history? I would love your take on that in the live chat. Great to see everybody. Sandy, Friesen, Hyman, Ezra Ginsburg. What's up, Ezzy? Good to see you. Daniel Patrick Waugh, one of my faves growing up. Was it you? Was it 33? Probably 33. James in the Peg, Vicky, P. Dan Jets fan. Seeing so many of you guys in the live chat tonight that were at the GoldEyes game and the WST annual GoldEyes game. Zach is coming. Ezra already asking. Connor Hrabchak from WST. Let's go 2-0. BC sucks. Yeah. Connor Hrabchak, huge Blue Bombers fan, huge Sea Bears fan. Great to see him at all the events and here in the live chat. Eric, I'm going to absolutely butcher your last name. Dare I? Eric 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙚? 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙧𝙚? Maybe not. Hey, quite an impressive night for the Blue Bombers. 27-14. We'll get into WALBY'S Warrior, Westwood's wide to the right. Your happy honker. You might have seen it just now in that 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙚 touchdown. But here's one happy honker, the man himself, looking bright and chipper. Zach Schnitzer joining us on the show. I got your microphone adjusted a little bit, so we got that straightened out from the last couple shows, pregame, postgame, and the rest. How are you, buddy?
Oh, how am I doing? How do you think I'm doing, dude?
How you doing?
I'm stoked, man. Listen, first of all, you might be wondering, where's my chain? We got the win. I was going to wear my 2 chains. You know how they move the chains in football, dude, when you get a first down? My wife moved my chains. We're doing... What's up, Ezzy? My guy. We're doing a basement renovation, and she moved all my Bomber stuff. She didn't have the courtesy to text me where it is, so I don't have my 2 chains. She moved my chains. I don't know where they are.
Well, I don't know how superstitious you are. Is that going to be a problem?
You know I'm superstitious, dude.
Yeah.
You know I am. So, but it's not going to be a problem. Listen, you could talk about a lot of things in this game, Darrin, but my main takeaway that's got me so jacked up is Jason Hogan, my man. Listen.
Okay.
The special teams were great coverage. Vava looked good. Castillo looked good. Sheehan, I thought, had a really good game. You can talk about the defense, and I think this game was all about defense. They get the touchdown. Evan Holm, we're going to talk about Evan Holm and Jamal Parker, but especially Evan Holm. Willie Jefferson gets kicked out of the game, which I think is cute. But I got to talk to you about Jason Hogan, man. Do you know how hard it is to throw wrinkles in on a back-to-back in the CFL? These coaches all know each other. Like Buck Pierce knows JY's playbook, Jordan Younger's playbook. We know what Buck Pierce is going to do. It is so hard to win back-to-back in the CFL against the same opponent.
But does Mike Benavides, BC's defensive coordinator, know Jason Hogan? Last week, different quarterback. I mean, Brady played a series, but a completely different quarterback.
But that's my point, though, Darrin. My point is that Jason Hogan has won 2 games in a row against the same opponent with 2 different quarterbacks and 3 different running backs. And today he went into the bag of tricks and absolutely fooled BC at the most critical times. The first one didn't count, that throw to Michael Krisyk, the fullback throw. It was brought back on a receiver holding penalty, which you don't like to see because I don't think it affected the play. But that throw to Eli, do you know the last time the Bombers threw to an O lineman playing as a tight end or a lineman playing as a tight end? 2011, buddy. Jason Vega. You remember Jason Vega?
Oh yes, still living in Winnipeg.
Right? 2011 East Final. Buck Pierce. Remember Buck Pierce, the quarterback? Buck Pierce, not the coach. Throws it to Jason Vega. Like, the creativity and the cojones to pull something like that out at a critical juncture of the game, where it was just a 2-score game, but BC was hanging around. I can't say enough about Jason Hogan, man. Like, my big question coming into this game is, what is Jason Hogan going to dial up? Because BC now kind of has the book on you a little bit. Yes, different quarterback, but Darrin, Chris Streveler wasn't the Chris Streveler usual mix of like bulldozing guys over. Chris Streveler was a pocket passer last game. He ran twice for 9 yards. He had 3 touchdown passes. He arguably outplayed Collaros today. Collaros had some throws he'd like to have back. But Jason Hogan came through again. And he's never been an OC at the pro level. And I'm just so impressed with that guy. I don't even know what else to say. I'm so overjoyed.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on those points. What we're seeing here is when Chris Streveler came in on a short yardage situation inside BC territory, it is 0-0 game, gives it to, stays in on first down. Quick hitter to Michael Krisyk, the Blue Bombers fullback, Canadian fullback, a 2024 draft pick, who I think is an incredible athlete, and we're going to see more of him in the offense as the weeks go by. This was negated by penalty by Kevin Sclercius, a Kevin Sclercius penalty, but just another little flavoring, a little Salt Bay, little Salt Bay from Jason Hogan. Right? Spicing things up a little bit, leaving Chris Streveler in. I know we've seen it with Lapo. We saw it with Buck, but getting the fullback involved and negated by penalty, but albeit still a nice little play call. There were instances, Schnitzy, where Winnipeg didn't exactly, they were having some trouble with BC's pass rush, right?
Yeah, they were, and that was the other thing that really was something I was looking for, is how is Gabe Wallace going to play? Because Canadian, he's a monster of a man. What is he, 6'6"? He comes in, replaces Vanderpool because they wanted to get Cooley, who's an American, in at running back, so they had to change out for the ratio. And Vanderpool played amazing last game, so I was curious, how's Wallace going to do? Because that, if you can have 3 Canadian O linemen, that's very helpful. And that's kind of the bread and butter of the Bombers the past number of years. I didn't notice him, and that's probably a good thing. I noticed Randolph struggled against Betts on one particular play, but I thought the O line was fine. But Zach did have a lot of pressure, especially in the second half. And I think he struggled with the zone defense the Lions threw out there. In the second half, they were playing a lot of man in the first half. Doug Brown was talking about this, knows much more about defense than I do, but because it was interesting because in the first half, like especially that first drive by the Bombers, they just methodically marched it down. How much time did they take off the clock, Darren, in that first drive? It was probably like 8 minutes. And then it just seemed to stall, especially in that third quarter. They really struggled to get things going. The run game wasn't working too well. They were doing a lot of short passes. They were their first down production in the whole second half was not very good. And I thought, that's my point about these back-to-back games, right? Like I know it's a different quarterback that Hogan rolled out there, but teams are going to get to know your tendencies. They've already prepared for you. Now they have time to work on their execution and practice. And I thought BC's defense, outside of that first drive, and maybe that bomb to 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙛𝙧𝙚, which we'll get to later. 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙛𝙧𝙚, by the way, and as he mentions, I saw in the chat,
Monster.
𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙛𝙧𝙚 is turning out like he's like this year's version of Ontario Wilson. Like he kind of just comes out of nowhere. I really like his speed, especially like he seems to get separation. But yeah, I thought credit to BC's defense because they put themselves back in a position to be able to compete in the second half.
We're seeing a possession by the Blue Bombers early here. This was a sequence of plays where Matthew Peterson ran for 10, then ran for 12, and this led to a 55-yard Sergio Castillo field goal, 5 plays, 22 yards. So like a short drive, but 2 big runs from Peterson early in the game when they were still, like early in the second quarter here, they were still trying to establish things offensively. They'd already had a touchdown at that point, but this was Winnipeg just kind of countering what BC was bringing defensively. And I thought they did a great job of that. Overall, like let's take a look at the offensive numbers. 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙛𝙧𝙚 was the leading receiver in Winnipeg's first game. I always want to say week 1, but it was week 2. It was game 1 for Winnipeg. But he caught everything thrown his way today. 6 catches on 6 targets, had a long reception of 48. Do you like that number 2 there, Schnitzy?
You know what, dude? You know me so well, man.
Oh, that's your jersey
I was
number.
so stoked that
That's
it was
an homage
48.
to your father.
My dad was born in 1948. The OG Bomber fan in the Schnitzer family. Man, love that guy. Okay, someone's cutting onions down here in my basement. Okay,
Stop sorry, buddy. Well,
I'm getting verklempt. I'm getting verklempt.
Yeah. Hey, just like Mike Myers on SNL. I'm verklempt. It's sweater weather. Jareth Stearns with 2 second down conversions. Out of his 36 yards, 15 came after the catch. 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙛𝙧𝙚 with that 1 second down conversion. I believe that was his chunk of 48. We'll look at that a little bit later. We saw a little bit more Dalton Schoen today. 3 catches on 6 targets as there was some really good defense against him today. We'll see if we can pull up some of that BC defense that, I thought they played better this week than they did in Winnipeg last week. I mean, being a home game, having some film, albeit against a different quarterback, they definitely played better. But Matthew Peterson, like 3.8 yards per carry, nothing groundbreaking. But how about this guy? Quinton Cooley. Saw a good dose of him, especially late. 6.1 yards per carry. We know what he can do. He is much more of that bull rush, smack you in the head with, everything he has. 7 carries for 43 yards. But I thought Winnipeg's offense was balanced. I thought, the 2 picks from Collaros, I mean, one of them I get. The other, maybe late. It was a little late in the game. I don't really understand why they were I understand they were pinned back in their own end a little bit, but not the play design that I think would have been most effective. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm like, oh, I know better than Jason Hogan and the Blue Bombers. I don't. Absolutely do not. But it was just kind of like a late comeback, deep comeback. Maybe it was a broken play. Who knows? Just that second interception from Zach Collaros is one I didn't really understand the play call or the way the play rolled out. Maybe it was broken.
Well, if I can jump in there, Darren, like to me, what I saw just in the first viewing, I'd have to see it again. It looked like Collaros had pressure in his face, and he had already decided he was going to throw it long, and he's just like, screw it, I'm still going to throw it, and I don't know who the receiver was in that play, but it looked like there was pressure in his face, and he still decided to let it go rather than maybe just eating it. It was kind of garbage time at that point, but yeah, not a great decision maybe on his part. Although there's so many moving pieces in a play, like it's hard to know. Do you have it here? Look at you.
Well, this is 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙛𝙀𝙁
This is
48-yard catch.
Look at the separation, Darren. Like if Collaros hits him in stride, that's a touchdown.
Well, that's what I mean. He had a couple underthrows today.
Yes, and I was going to bring that up. Maybe I'll bring it up now.
Well, why not? You already did.
I just did. So it actually coincidentally. Well, no, that was I was like, yeah, that throw to Wheat, that 35-yard throw to Wheatfall in week 2. No, that was Strevler, Zach. Come on, different quarterbacks. It's confusing me, man. This first game by and then the suspension, like I'm just like whatever. Now I'm trying not to sneeze. I'm allergic to myself.
You're also jumping all over the place, like
yeah, I am. I went to my buddy Alex's house and he made me this coffee because I was really tired.
Oh, that's what it is. You're a little hyper.
And he asked me, he's like, do you want like regular coffee? Do you want the extra strength? Do you want like the nitro? I'm like, what's the nitro? He's like, oh, it's I don't know, man. I don't know if you should have that. Like, it's pretty intense. I'm like, I want the nitro.
It's clearly
I got a
intense.
show to do.
It's clearly intense. We do have a show to do. We do have a show to do.
So Collaros, it looked like he underthrew 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙛𝙀 on that deep corner route where the interception happened. Again, there's so many moving pieces. What was the play call? Like, did he get fooled by the defense? Was he, I don't know. In the postgame show, he thought he overthrew 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙛𝙀, and he says that Jamison Sheehan, the punter, said there was a downdraft in BC Place and that his kicks were going 5 yards less. So I don't know if it's a downdraft, right? Like, Collaros said that he doesn't want to make excuses. So I don't.
He said after the game. Yeah. Not the post game. People are watching the post game show. He said that after the game. Yeah, on the broadcast.
Yeah, so that looked like an underthrow. I don't know if there was a downdraft. There was a couple balls that I thought, is he underthrowing guys, or is he because he had a clean pocket? It's not like he was rushed, because quarterbacks will underthrow guys when they're rushed, right? Because they can't step into the throw. This play, and I love that you have the highlight here. Podcast viewers, listeners, I should say.
Get to YouTube. YouTube.com/@BonfireWPG. Just get to YouTube, search Bonfire Sports Winnipeg. Even better, this is what you can do. BonfireSports.ca/YouTube. You can go BonfireSports.ca/live. You can go /Facebook, /Twitter, /X, whatever it is, whatever your flavor is, it will take you there. BonfireSports.ca/live. That takes you to, where you are right now. GameDay After Dark. And welcome again, everybody. Baby. The bonfire is burning. The bonfire is burning.
Real fire. That's a fire hazard. Hey? That's a fire hazard, Darren. Hey, do you have a BC helmet back there and a Winnipeg helmet?
It's controlled. Yeah, I do. Let's see.
Dude, do you have like a full collection of CFL helmets?
Yeah, I got them. You don't remember back in the day, I had them kind of on like a little rack or whatever behind me?
I don't remember that, but that doesn't mean anything because I don't remember anything.
I have to thank the Canadian Football League because they helped me. The CFL head office helped me source a couple that I couldn't find. They also sent me a CFL branded helmet, like a league helmet. The CFLPA gives an amazing amount of support to the FRC. That's the Football Reporters of Canada. And they give us little mini helmets too. Got a white one, got a black one. So thanks to all of them. My old pal, Solomon Elamimian, better call Saul, still involved arm's length in the CFLPA.
So do you think Zach has lost some arm strength? Do you think there's a pattern here?
No.
You don't think he's underthrowing guys?
This is the first game that Zach Collaros has played since November. Okay. And it's not like he was he underthrew a couple balls, but he also threw a couple absolute dimes. Absolute dimes. Can I show you one? Tell me if Zach Collaros has lost something. Yeah, I understand you said arm strength. It's not exactly arm strength on this, but how about career TD 200, becoming the 14th player ever to reach that mark? Broken pocket, rolls out, throws against his body. When you're right-handed, running to your left like that, this was an absolute dime piece. 10 out of 10. Zach Collaros hits 200 in his career. I don't want to hear that the arm strength isn't there because he underthrew some passes. I know that's not what you're necessarily like proposing, Schnitzy, but you're asking the question. I'm giving a very, very firm answer. No, he has not lost arm strength. But that was a perfect football. I want to bring it back to this one point. Look at this, okay? Right here. Where's he put the ball? Where absolutely nobody can touch it except his receiver. Perfect ball.
Yeah.
Inbounds.
And sorry.
Dart.
A dart. Thanks, Comet. It's a dart for sure.
Nice dart.
And one of the big questions I think for many of us coming, you spoke to this, Darrin, when we talked earlier, was like, what's the Collaros to 𝘎𝙤𝙛𝙧𝙚 connection going to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙀 was kind of Collaros' safety blanket in the past few years, right?
Yeah,
like
that's been the thing said over and over again for sure. Yeah.
And 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙀 had what? He had 3 catches on 6 targets. He didn't do a ton, but just to see for us fans that connection that early in the game, that touchdown, just a dime to Dalton 𝘎𝙤𝙤.
Yeah.
Like you said, on a broken play. Really nice. And I'm excited to see if that trend continues. I think BC tried to take away 𝘎𝙤𝙤. And Dembski, nothing was going with Dembski, although he did, 73rd game in a row with a catch? Dembski had, even though he had he had 1 catch for 1 yard. But here's the thing about just 2 targets. Just on the Zach's arm strength, I'm not just basing it on today. I'm thinking about last year too. And there were, I do remember a few balls that seemed to be underthrown. Now, is that the receiver, his depth isn't quite right? Like maybe the receiver's break was too far down the field. Like, I don't know, right? Other times I thought Zach last year with the O-line still taking some time to gel, right? Because you had Randolph come in, you had Lofton come in, you had some changes. You had Kolinkowski, you had Dobson. Like, they had to gel, right?
It could just be human. Like, guys aren't going to be absolutely perfect all the time, right? Yeah.
I just don't know whether, I don't remember early in Collaros' tenure with the Bombers, Darrin, him underthrowing as much as I've seen in the last couple of years. I'm not saying he's lost arm strength. I can't be definitive about it. It's just something I wonder about, just anecdotally, just thinking about some of the passes I've seen in the last. Don't, I'm not talking about the Grey Cup. The guy couldn't throw. He could see the bone in his hand. Heck, he shouldn't have been throwing long.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I apologize for interrupting. Just wanted to point out, this is Zach Collaros with 𝘎𝑗arius Jackson, the Blue Bombers' new offensive assistant under Jason Hogan. Like, he's got his proverbial, fingers in the pie as well, right? And helping cook up some of those things.
Yeah. Okay. On a slightly different topic, just the roster this week, okay?
Before you do,
okay,
we are going to get into WALBY'S Warrior, Westwood wide to the right. We will hand out our game balls, the bonfire burning point. As you get to the roster this week, Schnitzy, I want people in the live chat, let us know your bonfire burning point, the moment in this game where things turned in the Blue Bombers' favor in their 27-14 win over BC tonight. Was it a pick? Was it a touchdown? Was it a takeaway? What was it in the game? I'm sure you're going to talk about Quinton Cooley.
Yeah. So I'm curious about this. So they bring Cooley on, despite the fact that a Canadian running back, Matthew Peterson, has an amazing game last year. He probably did have an amazing game last year for Alberta.
He had a
That's where he
handful of
played.
amazing games for
Yeah,
Alberta.
he one in particular actually against the Bisons in their home opener. I was at
He's
that
a
game with my
beast.
son.
Yep.
Yeah, he's really good. In fact, my buddy who I was watching with today, Alex, said he reminded him of Charles Roberts, which he's a bit of a slasher, right? And he's got some speed and balance and shiftiness. But I was curious about why, given how well Peterson played last week and the fact that it allowed them to play Vanderpool at left guard, who by all accounts had an outstanding game. What was the reason you think that they brought Cooley in? It's not like the running game was bad last week. They ran for over 200
You
yards,
need
the
depth.
Bombers.
What happens if something happens to Peterson?
Yeah.
You need a running back, right?
That's
Why
true.
was Matthew Peterson there last week? In case something happened to Brady, and something did, right? So you absolutely, like, it was a no-brainer. Like, you got to bring in depth.
Yeah,
Right?
I thought it was an interesting question, but it has a simple answer, and now I feel dumb. Of course they need depth. Yeah, no, I think that's exactly right. I was worried when I saw Cooley on there, though. My first thought was, Darren, uh-oh, Brady's injury might be long-term, and they need to evaluate what they have with Cooley.
No. He made the team. They've made that evaluation. They know exactly what they have. They've made that. He made the team, man. Guy made the team.
I thought that was a really good question, but it's not. You just basically shut me up. And not that you meant to shut me up. It's just that, that's why I like doing the show with you, because you know things.
And you'll see here too that Micah Vanterpool is one of the guys that came off the roster. Mike Benson, the long snapper, was hurt. I know this is really small on everyone's screen. Maybe some of you are watching on your 60. Very nice. Appreciate that. But some people watching on their phone. Hey, that's cool. I think Zeno, Zachary Nolan, Bonfire Sports, and the Nolan Hockey Podcast, watching on his little 4-inch screen on the iPhone 12. Is that right, Zeno?
It's on the laptop.
Oh, he's got it on the laptop. He's got it on the. Okay, he's on the laptop.
What's going on here? Where is Zeno? Right? Is he in your?
He's in the lab. He's in the Bonfire Sports labs here. We're in. He's around the bonfire. Anyway, you see Micah Vanterpool there, taken off. He started at left guard last week. And Wallace and Ellie were both Canadian backups. They just removed Vanterpool, an American, put on Cooley, an American, and started Gabe Wallace at left guard. And I thought he did pretty well. It was his first career start. He was a 2024 draft pick, made the team last year, was kind of, PR, one game, dressed as a reserve quite a bit. But nice to see him get his first start. I call him Young Walby, Y-U-N-G, Young Walby. Just the neck roll, the huge shoulder pads, 6'6", 300, whatever. Doesn't play tackle like Chris Walby, the greatest Canadian offensive lineman in the history of the league. North End, Winnipeg's pride and own. No, Zach didn't move into to my place. It's not happening, Zeno.
Wait,
Sorry,
which
buddy.
Zach?
It's not happening. I
Yeah,
wouldn't know what to
laugh.
feed him. The guy doesn't eat anything. It's like, stop yelling. Stop yelling.
He doesn't eat anything?
He's
What do you
scaring
mean?
Ruby, the bonfire dog.
What do you mean he doesn't eat anything?
She's sleeping. Anyway, yeah. So that's the quote unquote big change the Bombers made this week. Didn't notice any fall off in Ian LaRue long snapping. Did you?
Hint, may strong candidate for Happy Honker tonight, Ian LaRue.
By the
way,
draft pick cut and brought back.
I have to walk back my Happy Honker last week. I don't know if I've never done this before, Darren, but it was only after the game that I realized that Canadian linebacker veteran Shane 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙚 was the long snapper when Mike Benson went down.
Yeah,
like that is the most happy honker of happy honkers ever. I have to go back and look who my happy honker was last week, but nobody cares. But yeah, it's Shane 𝘎𝙬𝙧. He gets I gotta replace him as the happy honker.
Don't worry about it. That was last week. Don't worry about it.
I worry about it. I got to get these things right.
We're on to Cincinnati.
I got to.
You know what?
Yeah, right.
Hey, what does Mike O'Shea say? You either win and you learn, or you lose and you learn even more. Okay, so you make a mistake, you learn, you move on. What does Zach Collaros say?
Snap and clear, baby.
Snap and clear. Flush it, right? Down it goes. One that Collaros will be flushing is this one. I don't think we've taken a look at it yet. Here is the interception he threw. Maybe we did take a look at it. This was an underthrow. How about this?
Ooh.
Back-to-back blue with a super chat. Willie with 2 unusual misconducts tonight. Well, 2 unsportsmanlike misconducts tonight. Unusual? Maybe. This is Christophe Beaulieu, by the way. Second-year safety out of Laval, Canadian. Dude is like the next great Canadian safety in the CFL. You look out for him. That's what my spies in Vancouver tell me. Beaulieu is right there pushing as maybe the most impactful DB in the BC Lions secondary. There he was with Nick Dembski and underthrown football, as we were just talking about, right? Quite underthrown.
Do you think it could be the dead air in the dome?
No, I'm not buying the dead air in the dome.
I've heard that before, though. You remember?
No, we talked about it in the pregame show. Yeah. No, it's a real thing. But come on, you're underthrowing the ball like that. That's not a dead air thing. Yeah.
I don't know. I've never tried to air it out 50 yards downfield in a dome. I've never even kicked the ball 50 yards. Yeah. Matt H with a good question here. Yeah, like what happened there? It looked like he got rolled up on. That was concerning.
Yeah, didn't see anything with Dembski.
Yeah, that's oof. You never want to see that.
Do you want to get into WALBY'S Warrior? Let's get right into WALBY'S Warrior. Before we do Westwood wide to the right, Happy Honker, Game Balls. What's the one I'm missing? Bonfire Burning Point.
Bonfire Burning Point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to do WALBY'S Warrior?
Let's do it. Live chat. Hit us up. Who was your WALBY'S Warrior tonight? Go ahead, Schnitzy.
Who's my
I'm gonna pull up.
Who's my Warrior? I gotta say.
I got mine. Here you go.
Hey, you go, because I'm
play
in
a highlight.
Two guys. Okay.
Last season, injured in training camp, missed all of 2024 as a young defender in the CFL. Comes back this year. They ask him to play a new position.
Yeah.
He's all over the field. Jamal Parker, number 7, new digits, new position, new attitude, new dude, new dog in the Blue Bombers defensive backfield. Jamal Parker is my WALBY'S Warrior tonight. Loved his game. He swarms the football. He's super smart. From what I'm told is the reason they trusted him as the Blue Bombers' new starting safety, position he has never played in pro football before. The reason they trust him is that he's a guy that could tell you what the boundary corner is doing, what the boundary halfback is doing, what the dime back is doing, what the stunt is with the front 5 or front 6, the defensive lineman, the linebacker. He can tell you exactly what's going on. That's why they trust him to be the safety, because he can quarterback a defense, figuratively speaking. So, that's my WALBY Warrior tonight. Who do you got?
First of all, I got to give a shout out to someone on the chat here. A special dude, Gary Shuris from Vancouver, originally from Winnipeg. When I was at the Grey Cup this year, I put out on Facebook, does anyone have a seat beside them? Because I paid $40 for a nosebleed seat. Because Darrin charged me so much to stay with him at his hotel room. I didn't have any money left.
What did I have you buy me a hero sandwich?
So Gary messaged. I never met the guy, and I just met him before the game, and I sat behind him in beautiful seats in the lower bowl. You know what, man? Like, I was deliberating between Parker and another defensive player because I just thought the defense as a whole, they were warriors. I think they were the real story of this game for the Bombers and why they won. They really, I mean, they held BC to 6 points until garbage time. So there's shades of dark side defense here, but we can get into that later.
Oh yeah.
I can't go against Jamal Parker, right? And he had a fumble recovery, did he not?
Sorry, Parker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, well that's the touchdown. So he had the fumble
Mm-hmm.
recovery on the touchdown. He has
Yep.
the interception. He has 6 tackles, just and a knockdown. Like, yeah, I love what you said about the fact that this guy was injured all last year. I just it's great to see a guy come back from that. I mean, that's the story so far in some ways of the Bombers this year. You have Strevler coming back, you have Parker coming back,
You need new guys to make things happen, right?
you have Lawson coming back, all from catastrophic injuries early in the season. You have Schoen coming back, right? Like, just the character, and the Bombers love those character guys, right? Guys who are going to grind it when they're not seeing a lot of results, right? Like, recovery is so slow; it's inch by inch, and then you take 2 steps back, you take 1 step forward. And I just think Jamal Parker had a crazy game. What are his measurables? Because he, like, the receivers like Hatcher, he's defending. It seemed like they have 6 inches on him. I'm going to quickly pull this up, but
Yeah,
it's
I'll see
that
if I can do
speed,
it.
it's that intelligence, right? Like you said, I think you nailed it there. And I heard Jordan Younger talk about that. But this guy is just super smart. And in a Jordan Younger defense where it's so multiple, I think you need to be that smart, especially when you're quarterbacking that back 5 of the DBs. I really like Jamal Parker. I like what he brings. I think he's
5'8",
5'8".
177
Yeah,
pounds.
that
And when you're
tracks, man.
5'8", 177, that's not like, wow, maybe he's 5'9". No, he's maybe 5'7". But no, he's 5'8". He's 5'8", 180 pounds, and the pride of Pennsauken, New Jersey. You're welcome.
Hey, we
Pennsauken,
got
New
another
Jersey.
super chat, Darren.
Man, oh man, how about this? Hey?
T-Cone Pauly.
Thanks, Pauly. Pyros.
Pyro,
Kona
baby.
Pauly, always in the live chat, always all caps. All of that live chat money, or all of that super chat money, it goes to Schnitzy. How about this? Thanks, Friesen. He gets one too. So Friesen says, I just have time to say the last time I seen a Bomber lineman score a TD was Tyrone Jones. I always thought Tyrone Jones was a linebacker. I'm not sure. So. But big thanks for the super chat, Friesen. T. Conapoli says, Collaros, best ever multi-year quarterback. Best ever multi-year quarterback, but Dunnigan and Brock, best QBs ever to wear blue, not as long. Okay. Yeah, I'm up for that. I like that.
Tyrone Jones was a beauty, though, wasn't he?
He's
Man,
what?
Tyrone Jones was a beauty. I believe he came to the Bombers as a free agent in 1983. That's when I was born, man. He was a linebacker, though. I'm just looking this up. But no, man, it's Jason Vega. It is Jason Vega. Yes, Sniss is agreeing with me. Eastern Final 2011, Jason Vega. That what was the score? 19-3 win by the Bombers. What?
You got a WALBY'S Warrior?
You got WALBY'S Warrior, eh?
I'm holding you to it.
WALBY'S Warrior. It's going to be someone on the defense. I mean, I think Evan Holm could get multiple awards here, but I know we don't do that. You're so strict in Bonfire Sports.
I don't care, man. Just give me a Warrior tonight. Who do you think just played a hell of a game?
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it to Evan Holm, and I may give him a game ball too. I don't know. I'm breaking my own rules, but okay. I thought Evan Holm, you could argue, was the difference in this game. I mean, first of all, that interception in the end zone was sick.
What, you mean this one?
How do you pull up the clips? I don't even know how you do
that. Loves it when I pull it up the moment he mentions it.
How do you do that? Like, are they like in categories? Are they like organized in a certain way?
Secret. It's a secret that only Zeno and I know.
I'm getting jealous of the other Zach. He has a nickname. Well, I have a nickname, but his nickname's pretty good, Zeno.
I gave him that one. Schnitzy's probably a better nickname.
You think? You gave me Schnitzy.
No, I didn't.
Dude, before the show, nobody ever called me Schnitzy. I was
Come on.
Schitzer. I was Schitzer or the
Schitzer.
Schnitz. Yeah,
Schnitz. Were
the
you ever the
Schnitz.
were you ever the shiznit? Like the Snoop Dogg
Probably.
song off of Doggy Style?
Yeah, probably. Look at
Poppin',
that.
stoppin', poppin' like a
And
rabbit.
BC
Oh.
challenges it, right? One, because it looks like it hits the ground, but it doesn't move because he's got his hand under it. And two, because like Buck Pierce knows that's the ball game, right? Like a red zone TD. That, I mean, yeah. And look at the the hit Masoli takes by Vaughters. Love it.
𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙚 been mentioned by a few people in the live chat, including John Elliott. Thanks for joining us, John. 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧 gets his warrior of the game. Waiter says I wore
Waiters.
flip-flops to the 2011 East Final. You know
That
what?
was the
You know
coldest
what?
football game, man.
I'll pull it up again. I don't know what it is with waiters. Like maybe I told him this story. Maybe he heard it. Maybe he's just, you know, like what's the term? You know, like when you're like psychic, like you're like a medium.
Yeah.
I didn't wear flip-flops to the 2011 East Final, but I did wear dress pants and dress shoes because I was just a few months out of journalism school. I was wet behind the ears and very green and only 3 apples high. And I thought, hey, you know, I'm going to be in the press box, like with all of these absolute pros, bunch of even Canadian Football Hall of Famers. Like Ed Tate was already a FRC Media Wing Hall of Famer, right? Oh, there you go. I told him the story. But yeah, wore dress shoes. Absolutely idiotic call by me. Big shout out to Mama Bombing, or Mama Bama, as my friends in high school used to say. Big shout out to her who came and brought me more sensible shoes and pants that I could change into at that ridiculously cold game.
Yeah. That was the coldest game I've ever. I know that December 12th West Final in 2011 was cold.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, sorry, December 5th. It was December 5th. I know that for a fact. That one in 2011 at Canadians was brutally cold.
Mm-hmm.
So back to Evan Holm. So he finishes with 8
Your
total
warrior?
tackles. Yeah, seven tackles on defense, a special teams tackle. He has the beautiful interception in the red zone that I think, you know, we'll talk about that in our burning point. He has a knockdown. He nearly had a second interception on the touchdown that was called back, BC's last touchdown to what's his name? Katoy. He nearly picked that off. And then to top it off, buddy, he had a special teams play when BC had the onside kick. He had the presence of mind after, like, he's so freaking fast. So he's the first guy to the ball on this onside kick that actually had some legs, pardon the pun, because it went past 10 yards and nobody had touched it yet. And the BC had a bunch of guys there who could have got it. But Evan Holm has the presence of mind, knowing he can't pick it up because it was going out of bounds, just to tap it out of bounds, because it doesn't matter if you catch it. It's just the last person who has. Ruby, you're ruining my WALBY'S warrior, Ruby. Bad girl.
I thought I hit mute. She's growling at Zeno.
Oh, I can't hear the growling, so you did hit mute.
No.
So I thought that was a nice play too by Evan Holm, and he was just all over the place. And that's secondary, right? They allowed the least passing yards last year, Darrin. Their secondary was elite, which doesn't surprise me because Jordan Younger was elite in the secondary when he played for the Argos.
Final play of the first quarter. Here's my guy.
Yeah,
they call him Spook. That's his nickname. Dietrich Nichols with a pass defense at the goal line. 1st and 10. They couldn't get anything on 2nd down either, but like that is all league athleticism and defense there. Great hands, obviously great eyes and twitch ability, quick feet to dig in, cut. You'll see it here. And to get in there and knock the ball away from Eberhard. Dietrich, you guys know how I feel about Dietrich.
You love Dietrich. You just love Dietrich. And I think it's warranted. I'm not even going to make fun of you. Like when you used to love Hamilton a few years ago, we made fun of you. The people in the chat just roasted you. you were big on Hamilton for some reason. And we kept bugging you that you were secretly a Hamilton fan. Dietrich Nichols, I have nothing to say about your love of Dietrich Nichols. It's absolutely valid and warranted.
I'm talking into a muted microphone.
You are? Did you mute me?
No, I muted myself. I was talking to a muted microphone.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you were muted Schnitzy, so I could get my little...
People can eat me up for pumping the Hamilton Tiger Cats tires for a couple of years there. They're a good football team. They made it to a couple Grey Cups, you know, just like Winnipeg has made it to 5 straight Grey Cups. You got to be a good football team to make it to back-to-back games.
And you got to be a good show to get all these super chats. Did you see the one from Rathwell? He's like, yes. Oh yeah, you guys in your piddly super chats. I'm just gonna up the ante here. Okay, can we do a plug for the 1930 crew here because it's coming up?
Shoot.
Pat Rathwell is one of the triumvirate of organizers of the 1930 crew bus tour to Regina on Labor Day, folks. Pat Rathwell, Jeffrey Bannon, and Tara Maslowski, Darrin and I, a lot of others, but they organized the trip. Darrin, myself, Hustler, a few others have the honor of being sort of the hosts of the buses.
Doctor, Dave
the sports doctor, Carter Chen is on there. It was the trip of a lifetime. It was the first time I'd ever been to Labor Day. I told my wife as soon as I got back, I will be doing that every year as long as this trip happens. Book it. It's my guys' trip. I'm trying, you know, like it was just a great time. I can't wait to go again. And
it'll be awesome.
Rathwell is referring to the Butter Ripple that he had going around the bus at like 9:30 a.m. on the Saturday. I'm trying to get Ezzy on this trip. I don't know if he's still here, but I'm trying to get Ezzy on this trip. He'd love it. Shout out to Rathwell. He's a beauty.
Yeah. Thanks,
Thank
Pat.
you for the super chat.
That, it's going to the Butter Ripple Fund. Ryan Friesen says, did you guys hear on TSN about Wyman? Ted Wyman, of course, is our dear friend who passed away last year after a heroic, albeit quite short, battle with cancer. Absolutely broke our hearts. And, if you've been watching and listening and following along for the last while or all throughout last season, you know how close he was to us and how special it was. But that wasn't the Ted they were referring to on the TSN broadcast tonight. It is a Ted with Winnipeg connections, and that is Ted Goveia, who was, for the last number of years, one of the architects of this 5-time Grey Cup team in the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He was the senior director of player personnel and one of the senior assistant general managers here in Winnipeg, and now he's the general manager, of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And Ted Goveia announcing through the team just a couple weeks ago that he's battling what they say is a serious form of cancer. So, it's after dark. Fuck cancer. And we're all pulling for Ted. I know you had a chance to meet him, Schnitzy, at the Grey Cup.
Yeah.
I've had the honor of knowing Ted Goveia and chatting with him casually over the last number of years. Just great dude, man. Like just great, genuine, kind guy. And, gets his dream job as GM of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and everybody's pulling for him. The CFL family's a tight-knit one. We're all pulling for you, Ted. So that's what TSN was referring to today.
Yeah, I only met him once in person, and that was at the Grey Cup Festival in Vancouver. And just a down-to-earth guy who, if I didn't know who he was, I would have thought he was just another fan coming to shoot the breeze with a bunch of other fans. And he was just so approachable, friendly, no airs about him. Yeah. I mean, on the football side, Darrin, he was one of the architects of this run the Bombers have had for the last 5 years. We haven't seen a team like the Bombers, albeit they lost 3 in a row, but 5 straight Grey Cups, that hasn't been done since the Edmonton team of the 80s, right?
I like the way Farhan Lalji put it on WST a week or two ago. I think it was a week ago. He said, Winnipeg is a dynasty. They've been to 5 straight Grey Cups, and that, that's not something to scoff at. I think he's right.
No. And the talent, right? that Goveia and the boys unearthed again and again, especially at defensive back, right? Like
Here's another
guys
one.
like
Terrell Bonds.
Alford and Demario Houston
There's
and
Terrell Bonds
Terrell
with a
Bonds,
defense. Yeah.
Marquise Bridges,
Yeah.
because Marquise Bridges was a Goveia and McManus find, right? Um, Jamal Parker, Evan Holm, Dietrich Nichols, like they are the architects of this exceptional Winnipeg defense. And for him to work in the trenches for as long as he did, Darrin, and finally get his shot as the GM in Hamilton, and then for this to happen, it's heartbreaking, it's unfair. And I like that these t-shirts are out. I'd like to get one. I wish they would be able to give them to fans for, and maybe the the proceeds could
The
go to
Lions.
cancer
Yep.
research. Yeah. It's heartbreaking. It's just so unfair, and we've all been affected by cancer. My late mother-in-law, just on the verge of retirement at age 70, also not a very long battle with cancer. And just it's just awful. And
It
yeah,
really
I
is.
mean,
Yeah.
so I wish Ted all the best. And I wish he could, hopefully he's enjoying the fruits of his labor here, because he earned this shot
Well,
with
he's going to
Hamilton
beat
as the
this.
GM.
He's going to
Yeah.
beat this, right? He's going to beat this. Everybody's going to have him in their thoughts and pull for him. And I know he's going to beat it. We're not gonna lose this Ted this time. Westwood wide to the right. We have to segue out of that, which is tough to do.
Yeah.
Somebody in the live chat there, I just pulled up the comment. They said this is not Westwood wide to the right. Okay. This is one of the good moments. They said, give some love to 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙀 for the great hands. Right off the top of the show, we were talking about 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙀. We were showing this. Ellie at tight end, rolling out, and nobody's thinking this dude, 300 pounds, wearing 65 and the neoprene elbow sleeves, as the old linemen wear,
Neoprene.
all taped up like crazy from the knee down. Here's 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙀 with an incredible play to cap a 5-play, 80-yard touchdown drive for the Blue Bombers. Here's another look.
Yeah.
He was our he was, well, you know what? We could get into the happy honker. How about 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙀? I think we give him the happy honker.
Well, what are we doing here? You're all over the place. Are we
I'm
doing
all over the place. I'm
Westwood's
giving
wide to the right?
Before we get into Westwood wide to the right,
Okay.
𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙀 is getting
Okay.
my happy honk. After what we were chatting about, let's do something happy. The happy honker. Look at this. Stanley Bryant throws 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙀 the football. Like, you're keeping this kid. First career pro touchdown, right? Goes, here's the ball. And he goes, gives it to Stan. Stan throws it back to him. He goes, nope, it's yours. Love that. Love that. Doesn't want the football, just wants the score and ultimately the win. This could have been your bonfire burning point as well, maybe, right? Winnipeg going up by 3 scores at that point.
Yeah. I don't know, like, it would be a felony for me not to give the happy honker to Ellie, sorry, not Eli. Like, I know it's not super entertaining if we agree on everything, Darrin, but I can't be disingenuous. Like, a guy, by the way, 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙀 played great last week. On that Oliveira 43-yard run in the first quarter, 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙀 just like crushed the BC defenders and pushed them to the inside, and Oliveira just had to dance on the outside and got that 43-yard run. 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙀 is, I mean, it wasn't an easy catch, Darrin. It's not like, when you get these tight ends, old linemen catching balls in the end zone, they're often like all by themselves because no one covers them, right? So they just, it's like, it's almost a challenging catch because they're all alone, right? And they have too much time to think. Are they going to drop it, right? This guy's running a pass pattern. Ellie was running a pass pattern. He was covered, Darrin. Let me just repeat that. 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙀 was covered, and he ran a pattern, got open, and catches a ball on the run, and almost has like a toe tap in the end zone. Well, maybe a toe tap is exaggerating.
Yeah, like
but
here's the
look at that.
linebacker. Here's the linebacker number 9. Who is that? The linebacker number 9 is Williams. Their nickel or their strong side linebacker. He has to make that decision at that point of whether he keeps contain or, well, at this point, Collaros pumps it and he's like, okay, Collaros could stroll into the end zone. I'm more scared of Zach Collaros' legs than an offensive lineman catching a touchdown. Plus, he's got a little bit of help here, right? Just below. But what Collaros has to do here is it's kind of like that RPO, right? You got to run, you got to pass, you got an option. It's an option play. And it opened up, just enough. Opened up just enough. You're right. He's in coverage. Yeah. Like that's a great catch.
It's a really good, even for a receiver, Darrin, that's a good catch.
Yeah.
Right. And and I think back to the Jason Vega catch in the East Final in 2011 we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, Vega wasn't running a pattern. Like he was kind of just sitting on the goal line and fell down to catch it. Like 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙚 is 6'4", 305 pounds. And he's running a pass pattern. And I don't think we can ignore the skill of Zach Collaros on that play, because as you said, that defender needs to decide, am I going to cover Collaros? Because there's a threat to run there. So Collaros sort of widens out his run just enough to sort of put that defender in an impossible situation where he either has to choose, and he's going to choose the wrong choice. If he goes to Collaros, he's going to throw it to 𝘎𝙤 for the touchdown. If he goes to 𝘎𝙤, then Collaros is going to have a free lane to scamper into the end zone. And I thought Collaros played that absolutely perfectly. Like he didn't have a lights out game, Collaros. I know people were hoping for 400 yards and 2 touchdowns to Schoen or 3 touchdowns to a receiver. But he played smart. He did enough to win. And I always hearken back to what O'Shea once said about quarterbacks. And he said the most important stat for a quarterback is winning. Winning is a quarterback stat. And if the quarterback does enough to win, then you're probably going to win the game. And Zach Collaros did. You can look at this pass. You can look at the dime to Schoen on the first drive of the game. You can look at that bomb to 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙚. There was another play I noticed where the pocket collapsed and he stepped up expertly and threw a second down conversion. I believe it was also to 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙚, but I could be wrong. I just thought Collaros managed the game well enough. He had a couple throws you want back, but I think you got to give the happy honker to 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙚. And whenever a lineman catches a touchdown pass, Darrin, I think we'll have to give the happy honker to them.
Look at him catch it. Like outstretched arms.
Yeah.
Like his trailing arm is the top hand. Like he doesn't basket catch it. He's catching it like Kenny Lawler catches it. He's catching it like Dalton Schoen in the corner of the end zone.
What do they call Kenny Lawler? The Claw?
I don't know.
I think they called him the Claw. I think that was one of his nicknames last year, was the Claw.
Because he likes crawfish.
No, not the Craw. The Claw.
Yeah.
Because he could Oh, I see. Okay. Where's the next super chat here? Come on, John Elliott.
Oh man,
Ryan
you're getting greedy. You're getting greedy.
Well,
Daphne back-to-back blue.
My dog keeps destroying all her toys because she really likes to chew things, and she keeps ripping the heads off her little dog stuffies. And I don't know where Sasha is, but I remember last year Sasha, one of our OGs, kept giving super chats so I could buy Daphne new toys. And I don't know how much we've gotten tonight, but it's 1 or 2 toys. I need to get her a whole chest of toys. So come on, guys. Look like Mike Sellers, T-Kona Polly. I love it.
Oh, here we go. Waiters with the explanation. Kenny Lawler, KLaw, the Claw.
Okay, yeah. That's
Gotcha.
Amazing. Waiters.
The Bombers
Waiters
defense
is a beauty, man. I love Waiters.
The Bombers defense overall, I thought played really, really well. They did allow 19 BC Lions first downs. Okay. They did allow nearly 50% completion percentage on second down, as the Lions went 11 of 23, which is a squeak under 40%. This was a deep shot to 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙚𝙧𝙯 for 38 yards down to the Winnipeg 29-yard line. But fortunately, Winnipeg was able to take the ball away soon after that. It was the Evan Holm interception. But here's some of the defensive numbers for the Blue Bombers today. They were really good in the red zone, as I just mentioned with Evan Holm, right? They stopped them 3 out of 4 times, which is really, really nice. Average gain on offense, I mean, BC had some chunks, so that number was pretty high. 323 yards against. But look, the BC Lions scored 8 points in the fourth quarter, and that was a garbage time touchdown.
Exactly.
I'm sitting there watching the game, and it's like 4 or 5 minutes left, and it's like, hey, look, they're down by a couple scores. But I can hear Zeno now. I'm like, the Bombers have won this football game. And he's like, well, there's still some time left, And I'm like, yeah, no, there's time left. But BC had scored 6 points at that point, right? Yep. Winnipeg held them to 47 yards rushing. They only ran it 11 times. 281 yards passing. But again, a lot of that in the garbage time. Yards per attempt was 6.4, which...
yeah, it's pretty low.
It's pretty good,
Yeah.
Winnipeg's was 7.2. Like, again, Collaros didn't light things up today. But just the one touchdown in garbage time. The bend don't break. Oh, Schnitzy. The bend don't break defense. Richie Hall, right? Who's still on this staff. That's CFL defense. You look at Noel Thorpe in Montreal. You look at what they're doing in Saskatchewan, right? It used to be Jason Shivers. Who is it now? I'm blanking.
Dude, Sasha just gave us a super... Guys, I wasn't saying that to try and make you feel bad for me. Like,
oh man,
Sasha, Friesen. Come on, guys.
Everyone has a sob story. Man up, says Friesen as he hands you a fin. Not bad. Wow. Sasha, incredibly generous.
Wow.
$50 super chat. Chew Toy Fund. I think you get a few for $50.
I could get Ruby some chew toys too.
Thanks, Sasha.
Sasha, that is so sweet of you. Yeah. And that was my Jewish guilt. And it shows you, Darrin, and our friends around the bonfire tonight, that Jewish guilt works extremely well. Extremely well. And look at that. We got super chat because I made you guys feel good. That's very sweet of you all. Listen, Darrin, about this defense, I'm glad you brought it up as a whole. This defense is reminding me, and I know it's early, but this defense is reminding me a little bit of that 2021 dark side defense that didn't allow touchdowns, that shut teams down in the fourth quarter, that you couldn't run against.
Right.
You could not run the ball against that Bombers team. And this is reminding me of that. Like, the turnovers, right? The situational defense of being elite in the red zone, right?
6 minutes left here, and BC threatening, right? Marquise Bridges with an absolute smack on this first play as Jeremiah Masoli really got them down into scoring range, right? And they weren't going to settle for a field goal at this point. It was definitely 3-down territory, but Bridges with a momentum, an effect on the momentum. I'm not going to say momentum swinging or, momentum changing, but an effect on the momentum, no doubt. Weighing a big smack on second down, 3rd and 8, 3-down territory, and overthrows the receiver just a bit, but there were 2 Bombers there in coverage, right?
Yeah.
So
And
needed to be safe with the football. A turnover would be brutal at that point. I mean, third down anyway, but still.
can we talk a little bit about Jordan Younger here? Like last year, there were so many plays, and fans didn't like it. There was, especially in the Grey Cup, but there were so many times where the Bombers only rushed 3 linemen. Although it wasn't always linemen, they would rush linebackers. You look at Michael Ayers, who can play that hybrid role, sort of. But they rushed 3 and dropped 9 or 8 or 7 into coverage so many times, and it was effective. It just maybe wasn't pleasing to the eyes, because Bomber fans love to see sacks. They love to see guys just get lit up. But
This is
that
fair
was the
from Jeff, by the
playbook.
way. Yep.
Fair. Yeah, no, this is a small sample. I'm saying this is looking like, I'm not saying it is the dark side defense, okay? But not to be argumentative, but
That's
I
why we're
think
here.
what Jordan Younger has dialed up in terms of pressure this year, Darrin, has been really surprising to me. I have seen more blitzing and disguising in the last 2 weeks against BC than I saw most of last year. Rushing 5, rushing 6. At one point in the game, it was a full out zero blitz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it worked. And I think there must have been film study on Masoli, just maybe even to show that he struggles against pressure, because he did. And I was super impressed with the just the multiplicity of the defense. And I think Jordan Younger will be a head coach in this league.
Wow.
Sooner than later. I
Sooner
think
than
he's that
later.
smart. I
Sooner
think he's
than
that
later.
smart. If the Bombers, and
You had
particularly
me
the
until you
defense,
said sooner than later.
listen, if the Bombers continue to show this level of defense, like in his first year as coordinator, Darrin, he had the #1 defense in the league with some guys who maybe should have retired and other guys who were new. And it looks like he picked up right where he left off. I know they were playing a backup quarterback, but they were on the road against the same opponent. They shut down Rourke last week. I think Jordan Younger is an up and comer in this
Well done,
league.
Friesen. Like that.
And I think that if he continues at this clip, I think he will be a head coach in the next 3 years.
I may be with, by the way, Friesen. Younger has a child who is the youngest. That's pretty good. I'll give you that one.
Good one, Friesen.
I'll pull this back up again. Waiter says maybe Winnipeg's next coach.
No.
Like, look, you had me until you said sooner rather than later. I think it's going to be later. I don't think Jordan Younger is going to jump into that coaching opportunity, right? Because you got to think, like, Buck Pierce turned down, well, really it was 1 year of round of offers, but he turned down a couple head coaching opportunities before he decided to go to BC. And I mean, family, situation, geography, all of that came into play for Buck Pierce, being a Northern California guy, winning a Grey Cup as a quarterback with the BC Lions. He's been a Lion or a Bomber his whole career, right? For Jordan Younger, like that, all of that aside, I don't think you want to just chase the big check, because look what happened to Devon Claybrooks. Now, I don't know Claybrooks' specific circumstances, but he went from being a very, very, very good defensive coordinator in Calgary to head coach of the BC Lions quickly, and did not work out at all, and haven't seen him since. Now, maybe he decided to move on from pro football. Maybe he decided to take an opportunity somewhere else doing something else. I don't know, but I think you want to be cautious to go from a assistant coach, a position coach for 3 or 4 years, and then coordinator for 3 or 4 years. He's in year 2. And then look at a head coaching opportunity. I think you want to maybe gain some more experience. He's a young dude. He's got a lot of career ahead of him. I just don't think it'll be sooner rather than later. I just think it'll be a while. That's just my take. CFL 60
you want
OG.
Devon playbooks? Oh.
We all need Schnitzy's Blitzy of the game.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. OG. Hi. Do you know what Devon Claybrooks is doing now? He's doing a bunch of different things. For some reason, I remember this from an interview. I don't know when, because I'm obsessed with the CFL, so I listen and read all this stuff. He started a cleaning company in Calgary.
Who's that?
Devon Claybrooks started a cleaning company in Calgary. I think it's like an industrial cleaning company.
You know what?
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Probably lucrative.
Oh, I'm sure.
Nobody wants to do some of those cleaning jobs.
He's cleaning up now, Darrin. He's cleaning up.
Sitting back.
I think that's a good point. Like, I think I agree with you in the sense that, like, if an opportunity arises, I hope that he is patient enough that it's the right opportunity. Like Buck Pierce, right? Paul LaPolice had a couple of opportunities. Well, anyway. Joey Slattery. Love it.
Up slats.
Love it. He's our guy.
Media and entertainment.
Yeah. What kind of entertainment? Ooh.
Over under 3 years bonfire bet. What are the stakes?
We're on year 4, baby. We're on year 4. No, I think you have to take the right opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I think some opportunities, if you walk in, like, I mean, the classic example is Matt Dunnigan, who was the head coach and GM of the Stampeders in 2004. He walks into a situation where the owner wants him to play his son. He was in an impossible situation, and he only lasted 1 year. It's pretty unfair, right? Now he turned his career around. Yeah, he turned his career around, and he ended up on the panel for 25 plus years. But I gotta say, I miss that guy in some ways. I loved his energy.
I don't know if it was that long, but yeah, definitely.
I think it was. I think he started in the panel in '99. And then he was gone for 1 year and then came back. Anyway, off topic here. I just hope Younger takes the right opportunity, but I do think he's a real up and comer, and he will be given an opportunity. But maybe he'll be like a Mark Killam or a Dave Dickinson, where he hangs around for decades and waits for his opportunity when O'Shea finally retires.
Week 3 in the CFL has now concluded. The Montreal Alouettes improved to 3-0 with a 38-28 win over Edmonton. Of course, Edmonton will be Winnipeg's next opponent as we scroll down to week 4. Edmonton at Winnipeg on Thursday. What? It's Saturday night. They're playing Thursday. There's going to be one practice next week. I think it's closed practice, as every CFL team is permitted to close one practice a week. And Winnipeg's only practice will be closed. But Edmonton is reeling a little bit right now. The Saskatchewan Roughriders, what a finish. Mario Alford.
Oh my God.
With a double backdoor cover. First, the Argos score late to blow up the cover, and then the point spread, that is.
Darrin, can I just ask you something?
Well, and then Mario Alford with a huge return to give Saskatchewan a win, and the cover helped me in my picks. What's that, Schnitz?
I do not understand how Toronto kicks it deep with 22 seconds left to one of the best returners in the league, and he walks it off. Like,
what do you expect them to do? Kick it short?
Squib kick it.
Dude, you're going to squib kick it, and, like, what was the score at that point?
It was tied.
Right. So you're going to squib kick it and let them kick a field goal to win?
But I think if you execute now, people on the chat tell me if I'm wrong. Obviously, Darrin does already.
You're wrong.
I think if
you're wrong.
the reason you squib kick is if, like, there's very little time left and you don't want to allow, or you don't want to give another team the possibility of a big return.
Then they would have been one play away from, like, you get like, it's 3 down territory. Schnitzy, like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Dude, if you squib kick it, you're giving the other team field position to just move the ball a bit and kick a field goal to win. Like, what do
It
you
would be a
mean you
long.
don't
It would
kick
be
it
a
long?
long.
You have to kick it long and then friggin' cover.
I First of all, the other issue is the Argos only had 11 guys on the field.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that didn't help either.
a squib isn't necessarily super short, Darren. If you hammer it low and hard, that sounds so bad. But anyway,
No, it doesn't.
anyway, if you hit it properly and you smoke the ball and you can get a decent kick out of that. I think a lot of people would agree with me.
I don't know if a lot of
Squib
people would
it.
agree with you. Some would.
Squib it.
Yeah, but
Squib
no.
it.
No, that's crazy. That's
Should,
absolutely nuts.
should we get back to our awards? What are we doing here, Darren?
Your Westwood wide to the right. What didn't you like?
You know what I didn't like? I didn't like, and this is there. You could go with maybe one of Collaros' like underthrows to Dembski for that interception. What I didn't love was Terrell Bonds. He literally had a pick six in his hands, and he dropped it. And that was right after the Jamal Parker fumble recovery for the touchdown. That would have been two straight defensive touchdowns. It would have put him up 21-3. The game would have been essentially over. And Bonds did a great job in undercut road. He was in perfect position, and he was right there. It hit him in the numbers. And it's no knock on Bonds. He had a great game. I mean, all the DBs had the great game. They had 6 knockdowns. Those are absolute drive killers. But it's tough when you have a ball like that hit you in the hands where you have all the momentum and you could literally take it to the house and end a game. I'm sure he's kicking himself. I'm not saying I could even be in that position. I would just fall down. I mean, I played outdoor soccer a couple weeks ago, Darren, for the first time in 15 years, and I lasted 20 minutes before I pulled up lame and I went home to ice my butt. But
Okay.
I mean, Bonds is an incredible athlete, right? And I'm sure he'll clean that up. But it's like I just worry that in a tight game, this wasn't particularly tight, but in a tight game, you have to make that catch because sometimes the game is decided by a couple of plays. And if you don't make those plays, that could be the difference between winning and losing. This is a very, very poor wide to the right because there wasn't much to hate in this game, but I would like to see him make that catch next time.
Douglas, great to see you in the live chat. Kabila's, yeah, you're late, bro. But better late than never, as they say. Maybe I'll give him my Westwood wide to the right. You got it, Kabilas. Sorry, bud. I think that's fun.
Oh, Cabela's.
I want to pull up. So we've done the happy honker, but I didn't do this. We did Westwood wide to the right. We did WALBY'S Warrior. The Bonfire Burning Point is one we need to get into.
Yeah.
While you lay out your Bonfire Burning Point, Schnitzy, and everybody in the live chat hits us as well. There he is. My New Hero, available at your favorite bookstore now. Great book by Douglas Savage. That is, of course, who we're looking at there, watching live on Facebook. What's going on? Yep, called out. Kabilas, you're cut. You're cut. No, you're not cut. But you did.
He is cut. He works out hard. He is absolutely cut.
Oh, he's cut.
He posts his workouts, man. He's a machine. Yeah, he does. He does CrossFit, and the other day he posted, "Oh, I didn't have much time. I did a light workout, and it was like this crazy circuit." And I was like, "Dude, I couldn't."
All he does.
Do
All
even
he does
one
is
of those
works out
exercise.
and listens to local sports podcasts.
What could be better, man? Probably at
Yeah.
work too. He never does any work, right, Kabilas? Let's be honest.
Seawalk says his Bonfire Burning Point. Hers. I don't. It's just Seawalk 1985. Holm's pick in the end zone.
There's yeah. That is absolutely mine.
Parker's touchdown.
Yeah. Holm's pick in the end zone.
Okay. I
was
like it.
absolutely my burning point. At that point, I believe it was 20-6 with about 11 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game. Correct me if I'm wrong, Darrin. And Holm
O'Shea at
picks it off in the
109.
ends. What's that?
O'Shea at 109 career wins. Just wanted to mention that as I pull
Oh
it up.
yeah, he passed. Who was he tied with in this?
Dave
They
Ritchie.
showed it on Dave Ritchie, right?
I'm looking at it right now. You don't see the screen there.
Classic. No, because I'm looking on our stats page from the CFL. Yeah, so Evan Holm picks it off, and then the BC challenged it because they thought he didn't actually catch it, but his hand was under the ball. And then the very next play, Collaros completes a deep right pass to Carrick Wheatfall, caught at the BC 37 for 48 yards. Then Cooley rushes for 10 yards. Cooley rushes for 4. Zach steps up in the pocket, throws it to Stearns, which I thought was a great play. And then it's the touchdown that really ends the game. 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙨 catches a 5-yard pass pattern for the big guy. 80-yard drive, takes up 3 minutes and 11 seconds, and puts the game away. Bombers then go up 27-6, and that's the ball game. Now I know it was 20-6 prior to that, and it's like maybe the game's already over, but it's the CFL, and there's 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and BC is marching. They're close enough to throw a shot into the end zone with which Holm picks off. So if he doesn't pick that off and it's a touchdown, then it's a 20-13 game. It's a one-score game with 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That, to me, that was absolutely the pivotal point in the game.
Yep. Leslie Mitchnick.
Leslie, what's up?
What's going on, Leslie? I got to pull that up again. Where did it go? Bonfire burning point for Leslie is the Parker fumble return touchdown alert play. I don't know why I can't find that in my stats here.
It's Zeno's fault. Zeno, get on it.
Yeah, I'll find
Come
it.
on, Zeno. That's your job. That's your job.
Do your job.
Do your job.
That's 2 Belichick isms on Game Day After Dark today. I did an on to Cincinnati. I don't even think I spit out the Cincinnati part.
I love that.
We're on to Cincinnati, and yeah, there's another one. Just do your job.
I love anything that anything on the topic of Belichick fascinates me.
Yep.
Dan Jets fan. I mean, we got all the cool people here. Matt Hyman.
What else is new?
Big fan of Matt Hyman. Russ Lowen.
When was that Parker scoop and score?
It was in the second quarter, I believe. Here, let me see if I can find it.
I got the interception. I got the... Oh, here we go. Zeno did his job. Of course he did his job. He always does his job. Did you find it? Yeah, I know. He's talking to me right now. It's there.
Beginning of the second quarter.
Yeah, I got it. So is this your bonfire burning point maybe? But I say you, not you, Schnitzy. But you out there. Headsy play. Play. They call this, you know what they call this, right? In practice, Schnitzy? What is
loose
the defense
change, baby. Loose change.
Pick it up.
Right?
Pick it up.
So, and here's the thing, Darrin, that like, this may sound like a small thing in practice, but the Bombers do this, and it's just it's perfect practice makes perfect, right? Practice doesn't make perfect. If you're practicing poorly, you're not going to be perfect. It's perfect practice, and what that means is no matter what happens, no matter why the ball is on the ground, even if you know for a fact that it wasn't a backwards lateral and the ball's not live, you go for the loose change and you pick it up, and that's exactly what Parker does here. That is habit. There's that famous phrase where you don't rise to the level of your aspirations, you fall to the level of your training, right? And when the bullets, when the bullets are flying, you instinctually do what you were trained to do if you were trained properly. And that's exactly it, right? Like he doesn't have time to know whether that's a backwards pass or not. He's just breaking on the ball. Oh, there's my boy, Gerald Olin, my chiropractor.
Good
And
dude, Dr. Gerald Olden.
he's incredible. I love
Great
that
dude.
guy.
Where is
Team
he?
chiropractic.
Where he? There he is.
Gerald's a beauty.
What's up, Doc?
He's an amazing person. Not such a
Yep.
nice guy. Like just a
Really nice
nice.
guy. Huge
Oh my
sports
God.
fan.
Yeah, he
Great dude.
loves it.
Great doctor.
He was with the Winnipeg Fury back in the day. In his office, he has a little plaque.
Yep. Works with the Jets.
Commemorating
Works with the
Fury's
Bombers.
Yeah. So I think that's just a testament to the good habits. And like people often
Bingo bango.
they'll often make light of the fact that like O'Shea will talk about, oh, he loves football. And you kind of think that's kind of flippant. It's like, obviously he loves football. He's playing football in the CFL for like a kind of a paltry salary. But when you love football,
Who's
then
playing
you
for a
pay it-
paltry salary?
well, compared to the NFL, right?
Who is?
But when you love the
Who?
game of football, stop derailing me. When you
What are you talking
love
about?
the game of football, you are going to pay attention to those little things again and again. Even if it's tedious, you are going to pay attention to those little things that are going to make a difference. And it might be 1 out of 100 passes that you pick up that's a live ball, but it's that 1 out of 100 that can absolutely change a game like it did here.
It doesn't
and it
hurt.
Absolutely right.
It
Doesn't
doesn't.
hurt.
Hi. It doesn't hurt,
Sandy.
right? Because if they whistle it dead, so what? But if
Exactly.
they don't whistle it dead and it is indeed a forward pass or a lateral, just not backwards, right? It can be lateral 90 degrees to the line of scrimmage
Yeah,
or
fair.
forward. It's a live ball. So
Yeah.
good on them. Good on them.
Garbett had one last year against the Elks. You remember that one? The scoop and score? The one where Zach Collaros threw 6 touchdown passes? That was a great game. But yeah, I think that could easily be a burning point. But it was so early in the game. But it did. I mean, it did put them up by 14 points. So,
so we're gonna give out some game balls, okay? But here are your CFL standings through 3 weeks. Of course, the Bombers have had a bye. The Elks have had a bye. Here, I'll zoom in. Sure, why not? Maybe you're watching on your phone. The Elks are 0-2. The Lions are 1-2 with 2 losses to the Blue Bombers and a loss to the a win over the Elks. The Calgary Stampeders are 2-1. They lost today in the cold and rain and wind in Cowtown to the Ottawa Red Blacks. Dustin Crum mounted the Crumback again. I think it was his 3rd career start, but he seems to just find ways to win when he starts.
Damn, that guy! I hate that guy. I had Calgary winning that game, covering the 2.5.
So did I. I should have known better, though. A cold
Screw
weather
you,
game.
Crum.
A cold weather game, and it was just crummy. A cold weather game in the slop like that. Like, I know it's not in the true slop. It's not like they were playing in the mud bowl. But I should have known. That's very CFL. That a team is just gonna beat the odds, figuratively and literally, in the Red Blacks coming away with their first victory of the season after, like Drew Brown against Saskatchewan. That was a heck of a football game. They could have won that game. They lose last week with Matthew Schultz starting at quarterback, and they they get a win this week with Dustin Crum at quarterback. The Hamilton Tiger Cats had a bye this week, so they're 0-2. The Argos, oh my, 0-3, defending Grey Cup champions. Sorry for the reminder. But the Alouettes look very, very good. Very impressed with their defense. They've had good special teams for a long time now. And Davis Alexander, it was Milt Stiegel, our good friend, who is home in Georgia, taking care of business, getting ready to come back to Canada and grace all of our presence on the television screen. Tweeted during the game, Montreal's win this week, Davis Alexander, MOP. I kind of agree with him right now. Pulled a hamstring, it appeared. McLeod Blethett-Thompson came in and cleaned things up. The Saskatchewan Roughriders, like, have they had the most difficult opponents this year? I mean, no, maybe not the most difficult opponents, but they got 98 points for through 3 games.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points. 81 against. I think their defense is better than that. But that's your CFL standings right now. The Bombers go into Edmonton, or pardon me, welcome Edmonton. They're going to be on 6 days rest. They're playing from Thursday to Thursday. Thursday at home, so not even a flight home after the game. But they made a push against Montreal. Tre Ford.
That was garbage time. Give me a break.
Yeah, I know. They pushed.
Sure.
I'm trying to give them a little bit of credit.
Nah, I don't think they get any credit.
Well, for a winless football team.
They're a tire fire, man.
Well, I'm not going there yet. That's just it's early in the season. I mean, they've started 0 for the last 3 years, like 0-5, 0-9, 0-7.
You know what, Matt?
It was. But Edmonton is going to come into Winnipeg rested, and the Bombers, they're going to wake up tomorrow morning after a flight home from Vancouver. Oof, right? Like they're flying home tonight. Thank goodness this game was at 6 Central. So they're probably on the jet right now, coming home, and going to get one practice in before they host the Edmonton Elks on Thursday at Princess Auto Stadium. Montreal and Hamilton, 3-0 versus a Ticats team that I don't think has played their best football yet. The Lions going to Saskatchewan. That's probably your game of the week. See if Nathan Rourke is healthy and ready to go. And then the Battle of Southern Ontario. Well, one of them. The Battle of Eastern Ontario, Toronto versus Ottawa, to wrap things up on Sunday. So, I think Winnipeg is in good shape. And I also understand, Schnitzy, that when people say, well, how can you say Winnipeg has the best defense in the league? They've played one team twice and a backup quarterback in the second game. Fair. But they are opportunistic. They are hungry and just not hungry. What I'm trying to say is they're hungry in the sense that they got the nose for the football, right? Like they're going after it. They're forcing takeaways. They're scoring on defense. They're playing great red zone defense. That's why I'm impressed. BC is nothing to scoff at. I don't care if it's Masoli. I don't care if it's Nathan Rourke. They made Nathan Rourke look poor in week 2 when Rourke went off in week 1 against the Elks. So, It's the early going here in the CFL. Follow me on Twitter at Darrin Bauming. You can find it at Bonfire WPG, and then our Schnitzy, your handle's there, WALBY'S handle's there, my handle's there. But you can follow me, and I'm giving you CFL betting picks against the spread, or ATS as they call it. Been about 60, 65%, even upwards of 70 over the last number of years. I'm definitely playing with house money. So if you want to play along, feel free. Well, how do you think next week's gonna go for Winnipeg against Edmonton? Well, you think they're a tire fire, so that you already kind of told us.
I just I know we got to get to our game balls, but I think this is important to tee up this game in a sense that I just have there's 2 things. I don't think it's all on Tre Ford, Darrin. I haven't seen that Tre Ford can be an effective pocket passer in this league. And you need to be. You cannot rely on your legs. You can't be a Robert Griffin. You're going to get injured. And I think that there were 10, 15-yard plays out there where he had a clean pocket and he just ran. He bailed out of the pocket. You can't do that in the CFL. This is a passing league. You have to
You can do that. You can do that.
You can't bail out of an easy completion to move the chains again and again.
No, but that's different than bailing out of the pocket. Because
you can bail out of the pocket, but if the pocket is clean, it's not full of lint. You can't just bail out of it when there's an easy throw because your reflex is to take off and run.
I understand they were chopping it up on TSN that way. Davis Sanchez, good friend of mine, great friend of the show of Bonfire, was breaking that down. And yes, Tre Ford is playing a little bit tentative, right? He's deciding to give up on the play, like you're saying. But
here's the thing. He has this amazing skill set.
Yeah.
And I don't think Jordan Maximic, the OC, is playing to his strengths. This guy can, like, you see that throw to Dunbar late in the game. He's rolling out of the pocket and he just launches it. Like,
Yes.
this guy is a freak athlete. I'm not saying run him on every down, but move the pocket.
I
That's
don't know
where
about
he
move the
excels.
pocket. I remember you were tweeting that during the game. Like, moving the
Roll
pocket
out,
is a
roll
different
out.
thing than having the quarterback roll out.
Fair,
Right?
yeah, fair enough.
But it's elementally kind of the same. I understand what you're saying. I don't think they need to have a moving pocket just so he can use his legs. His legs are what extend plays. There's a difference between bailing out early and I'm in the pocket. I'm going through my progression like Davis Sanchez was breaking down on TSN during the game and after the game. And doing a great job of that too. There's a difference between that and using his legs. So they've played 2 games. I don't think it's fair to lay final judgment on Jordan Maksimic, saying he's not going to Tre Ford's strengths. As you said in this game about Zach Collaros, interceptions and underthrows and overthrows and all these things, lots of things can happen. Protections can break down, miscommunication can happen, lots of stuff. So 2 games for Edmonton. I think we're going to see a new offensive coordinator. Also a new head coach and a new starting quarterback. Like, everything is new for Tre Ford. Lots of people talk about quarterbacks, like a guy gets drafted into the NFL or in the CFL. It's like he has an OC for 1 year and then he has a different OC the next year. And then the head coach gets fired and he's got another one the 3rd year. And why isn't he any good? Well, he's got to learn a different system all the time. So I'm giving Tre Ford and Jordan Maksimic and the Edmonton Elks a little bit more time before I start saying, well, they're not using his legs, they're not rolling out. I've just got a little bit more patience. That's all. But
You definitely have more
your point is
patience.
valid.
Of course it's valid. I'm Schnitzy. Of course it's
I'm
valid.
Schnitzy. Wow. Wow. Holy.
I,
You get a game ball. You get a game ball.
I've been referring to myself. Oh, there we go. I've been referring to myself in the third person much more than I should. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm not a person who does that. It's in psychology, we call that ego dystonic. But I'm not that person. I shouldn't do
Ego
it.
what?
But I ego dystonic. There's ego
Dystonic.
syntonic, which is like that just aligns with who I am. Like,
All I
I
know
could
is
go on.
ego gin tonic. A little bit of lime.
I love a gin tonic.
Mm.
With Hendrix. Hendrix is the gin that you should get.
I don't care.
With a sliced cucumber.
Gin is
Forget the
like
lime. Oh, I like gin.
Hendrix sounds good to me.
Yeah. So I just think I wouldn't be surprised. And I think T. Conapoli maybe put it out there. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bombers blow them out. I think Edmonton's defense has not looked good. I think Killam made some key coaching mishaps. At least 3 of them last game. We don't have to get into all that, but I think they're going to trounce the Elks, and I wouldn't be surprised. And I know I'm the king of overreacting. That's just who I am. That's why our dynamic works, because you're more patient than I am, Darren. I wouldn't be surprised if Tre Ford gets replaced by Cody Fajardo before Labor Day.
Before Labor Day, yeah. Okay. Yeah, some people
I'm
don't
not
like
saying
that,
it's
saying
going
we're
to
going to see
happen.
Fajardo on Thursday in Winnipeg.
Maybe.
Like 2 games? This will be their 3rd? Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Anyway, game balls. Game balls.
Give them out.
You know what? I'm going to give my game ball to the same person I gave my Warrior, because I just think he was that good today, man. Because to me, this there was some, there was that dime to Schoen. There was that dime to Wheatfall. There was that incredible play deep down in the bag of tricks to 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙚. But to me, this game is about defense, Darren. I think the Bombers' defense is for real. I know they've played only one team, but I do think they're for real. I think they'll shut down the Elks next week. And I think they'll continue to be dominant, just like last year. And I just have to give it to Evan Holm again.
Okay.
8 total tackles, seven on defense, 1 on special teams. The key interception that I think was the burning point. He had a knockdown. He nearly had another interception. And then he had another key play, which was the special teams onside kick recovery that he had the sense to bat out of bounds. He is an absolute speedster. He's a playmaker. I mean, playing halfback in the CFL is not easy. You have a lot of field to cover, man.
Yep.
The wet, yeah, exactly. And I just think he had an incredible game today, Evan Holm, and he deserves all the laurels, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm with Jets Girl, who says Evan Holm, Carrick Wheatfall, Jamal Parker, and 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙨. That's how you pronounce it. 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙨, not Eli. And his first name, I mean, he's like, no joke, 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙨 has got like, I'm not exaggerating, like 8 or 9 names, right? His father is a tribal chief in Hawaii. I think he's actually, because he's the son, is a tribal chief as well, or like, will be. But 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙨 with the touchdown tonight, and not just a touchdown. The big man plucks it. Doesn't scoop it. He plucks it. Oh, that was nice. That's my only game ball tonight. I gave Jamal Parker, WALBY'S Warrior. I'm giving 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙨 was my happy honker. I mean, how could he not be? But that's my only game ball. We're giving it, he kept throwing it back to Stan. Stan kept throwing it back to him. That's your ball, 𝘎𝙤𝙤. By the way, 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙨 and we hook up at Costco for apples. I'm not even joking. Kanzi apples. Kanzi with a K. If you want to play football like 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙨, and you want a podcast and YouTube like me, Kanzi apples at Costco. Get a bag. They last forever. Just stick them in the crisper. They're amazing.
Oh, Darrin, you're a beauty. I just love these random.
Yeah.
I was wondering where you were going there, because you started that story with saying you hooked up with Ellie at Costco. I was like, what is going on here?
Yep. Seen him a few times.
Kanzi apples, eh? I hate when my wife shops at Costco.
He thanks me to this day.
I hate Costco.
He thanks me to this day.
Because you introduced them. Like, did you just see him there one day and like, hey, 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙨, have you ever tried these Kanzi apples?
Literally exactly what happened.
Sounds like something you would do, and probably something I would do as well.
I swear, I have a Costco membership. I used to live really close to a Costco, and now I'm a little bit more of a distance until they open this one up in Headingley. That'll be great. West Winnipeg, sunny St. James.
On my way to work, baby.
But no joke, I get my Costco membership. Free plug for Costco, by the way. Great.
Yeah.
Maybe food fair, maybe local grocery store, Ken's. Let us know. Maybe you want to sponsor Game Day After Dark. I have a Costco membership for the produce. That's it. Apples, grapes, bananas.
So
big bunch of bananas, $2.
My wife needs to talk to you, because you are a smart Costco shopper. The smart Costco shopper is like a SWAT team. It's targeted strikes. You go there for very specific things: toilet paper, eggs,
you do
produce.
not take your cart everywhere. That is such a awful strategy. This is the key, especially in like the cooler area. Any of those cooler areas, like those confined, don't take your cart in there. Don't do that. Find a quiet little pocket off to the side. Into the cooler, out of the cooler, no problem. Okay? Targeted strikes is exactly right. Boom, 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 line up.
But do you know who doesn't do targeted strikes? My wife. I love her to pieces. I'm frankly surprised she's stuck with me this long. It's been just came up to 13 years on June 17th.
Congratulations to you both.
Yeah, I should be congratulated because I don't know how I held that down for so long. But she goes to Costco. She doesn't look at the list I carefully curate because I do all the cooking. And then she comes home with like 50 mangoes. She's like, "Oh, the kids love mangoes." I'm like, "Yeah, they love mangoes, sweetheart. But I'm going to have to throw out 40 of these because they're not going to like 50 mangoes, a slat of kiwis. And then she buys these fig bars. Oh, our daughter said she wanted fig bars. Well, guess who can't stop eating the fig bars? We didn't need the fig bars.
Figgin'
You
bars.
know?
Those
Figgin'
figgin'
bars. Anyway, yes, 13. Thank you, Phyllis, for the congrats. The 13 years is
Gerald's right. Gerald's right. We need more thumbs up.
How many do we have? I can't see them.
I don't know. 80.
We need more.
Yeah. But we had like almost 700 people watching live. We're at like 650 right now.
You know, the funny thing is, Darren, is like, you know how it goes with us after dark. We kind of go off the rails, especially after we give out our game balls.
After dark. We're around the bonfire, man.
But you know, the funny thing is that like the numbers actually start to creep up the longer we go, which is kind of counterintuitive.
They're still on, and Bauming's talking about apples and 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙬 and
trust me, waiters, my wife is not watching. She's like, "Please don't talk about your podcast. No, I don't want to hear about
I don't think you could twist her arm to watch this program.
I think she watched the very first one, and then she's like, "Oh, that was really good, honey. I don't want to hear about it again."
13 years and 1 day of marriage. Yeah. For those that were in the live chat for Game Day Winnipeg, our pregame show we do live the day before the game, pregame, postgame, every game here on Bonfire Sports. No SNIS, no Bonfire midweek this week. That has been retired. But for those that were watching, myself and the legend Chris Walby, is this plant real? Yep, it is. That's a real plant. Everyone was saying Bauming seems like somebody that couldn't keep a plant alive. You couldn't be more wrong. I have so many plants. I'm a big plant guy. Go figure. I got no kids. I got plants.
And a dog. I don't know why they would say you would like you hyper focus on these things, and you become like you could probably tell us the molecular structure of that plant. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
It's like
I could tell you how much water it needs.
It's like when I was telling that story last week about our friend Shane Montpetit, who comes from Dauphin, and the whole point of the story was he brings a camper and sleeps over so they can leave the next morning, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. And then you hyper focus on the fact that, and also there wouldn't be sun in his eyes as he's driving west at that time of day. It's just like, Of course you keep your plants alive, Darren.
Yeah.
Of course you do. You're a green thumb, man. I'm sure you're a good caretaker of Ruby as well.
Yeah. Oh, no, I take care of the dog for sure. Yeah, Leslie, I was calling out the whole chat. All of you. Yeah, like, here's a little after dark moment for you. I got this plant because it's called the flamethrower.
Oh, look at that.
How healthy that is.
Oh, you just heard it,
yeah,
though. That must... You like dropped it on its head, man.
Yeah. Only real plants. No fake plants around the bonfire. Because, like, how are you, like, what's a bonfire burn? It ain't burning plastic. Yeah.
And, like, as we're going on this fascinating digression, the numbers creeped up to 650 from 647. So there you go.
3 people. 3 people are here for it.
People are dying for, there should be a separate show after dark.
Oh,
where we just riff on other random things.
We'll call it approaching dawn. Yeah. No hydroponics. Maybe I should get the hydroponics going. Hey.
Apparently, isn't there a new law that you can grow like one pot plant or something? You're now allowed.
I don't know if that's new. I think that's been a while. Like,
okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Schnitzy, did you see? Okay, so we were looking at the Bomber schedule. They have got the Edmonton Elks, and we'll maybe put a bow on it with this. They got the Edmonton Elks in Winnipeg on Thursday, June 26th. Walby and I will do your pregame, Game Day Winnipeg, as we always do, live Wednesday, because that's the day before the game. So you can watch it afterwards, not live. First thing in the morning, right before kickoff at halftime. But Walby and I will get the pregame going on Wednesday, June 26th. They'll play in Winnipeg Wednesday, June 25th. They'll play Thursday, June 26th. You and I will get going. Well, look, we're talking about hydroponics. 4 days, 20 hours until kickoff. Then the next week, they're in Calgary. It's Thursday, July 3rd. We'll get the pregame going on Wednesday, July 2nd. Okay? This is going to be the new Stampede Bowl during the Calgary Stampede. Like the Banjo Bowl has the Banjo Trophy, the double Banjo Trophy. Everybody has seen it, right? Have you seen the inaugural Stampede Bowl trophy?
Yes, I have. I'm very excited. I love it. I think it's great for the CFL. I love it.
It's a weird looking trophy.
I like the trophy. Are you trying to pull up a picture of it?
Yeah, so keep talking.
No. So just imagine this, Bomber fans. The Bombers, look, our numbers just crept up the later we go. Like, listen, this is amazing.
Who cares?
I care. I love numbers. The Bombers, imagine they not only get the Banjo Bowl trophy, but they get the Stampede Bowl trophy. And hey, I don't want to jinx it, maybe the Grey Cup trophy, the trifecta of trophies, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love the idea of the Stampede Bowl. They need more of these traditions in the CFL. I mean, the league's been around for 112 years now. Like, have trophies for every game. That's amazing.
I like it. So this is the reveal of the Stampede Bowl trophy that is on the Stampeders website. McMahon currently under more renovations. But this trophy is
lipstick on a pig.
This trophy is unlike any trophy you've seen in Canadian sports. Keep in mind, the Calgary Stampede logo is that right there on the left. Hang on, can I pull that back? The Stampede, okay, so the Calgary Stampede, there's the Stampede. Calgary Stampede logo is very similar to the Stampede Bowl logo. It's the front head of the horse. Here's the trophy. What do you guys think? Let us know in the live chat. Do you like the Stampede Bowl trophy? There it is.
Jeffrey, what do you think? Town, and it's the nicest trophy in sports.
The nicest?
Yeah. I think it's elegant. It's kind of artistic even. I like it, and you see how it's got the three it looks like the what's it called on a football? Laces? What do you hold on? Laces. You got the three laces for the three downs. Yeah, I think it's cool. I like the colors. Yeah, I think it's cool.
The red chrome, the true chrome. I don't mind the form factor of it. It's really aggressive with the horse ears and like it being the front face.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a fox. Like, I'll give you that. It kind of looks like a fox. By the way, I saw a fox in River Heights the other day. My son and I were driving home from school. There was a fox. Bro. There was. Have you ever seen a live fox? They're pretty cool, man.
Actually, anyway. Yes, I have.
Yeah, it does. Now that you mention it, it kind of looks more like a fox than a horse.
Those look like horse ears to me. They really look like horse ears to me.
But it looks like it has like big fox like cheeks. Like it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I hear what you're saying.
I think that's a bit of a miss, but I like it. I like it, and imagine like former Stampeder. Well, it won't be Peyton Logan. He's not going to play till like Labor Day. But imagine like former Stampeder James Vaughters beating this. They beat the Stamps, and he's holding that over the head, and they're cheering like that. That'd be fun.
Winnipeg Gordo with the ultimate question.
Yeah, good question.
Can you drink out of it? I sure frickin' hope so. Can't drink out of the Banjo? No, you can drink out of the Banjo Bowl trophy. It's got a bowl.
I think you can.
Yeah. 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 Bingo Bango. Been on fire in the live chat tonight. Bingo
Yeah,
Bango,
Bingo
by the
Bang.
way.
I have noticed that as well.
Yeah. Big golfer, Bingo
Yeah.
Bango.
Oh,
Bingo
really?
Bango Bongo is a game you can play in golf. Yeah. Demonic. I agree. It is a very demonic looking trophy. Okay, well, Schnitzy, I think we'll put a bow on it there on that demonic note. Look, we'll get a little butter ripple, says Jets Girl. We'll fill the Banjo Bowl trophy and drink a little butter ripple out of it. We will, maybe plant something in it afterwards. But first, the Bombers have to handle business next week against the Edmonton Elks, and then they'll go to Calgary to take on their prairie counterparts, or provincial counterparts, the Elks, that is, in the Stampeders. And we'll see how Winnipeg fares in those. But overall, a pretty good win for the Bombers tonight, 27-14, with one touchdown allowed in garbage time. Thought it was a great performance overall from the blue and gold, and rest up. Short week for Winnipeg going up against the winless Elks. Tre Ford and Tyrell Ford come back to town.
So just I know you want to put a bow on it, but just before you do that, I do want to say I'm very excited about the June 26th game coming this Thursday, Darrin. I'm going to be going super early to tailgate. And there is an event for Baumer for Life members where we get to meet Stu, the commissioner.
Stu Johnson.
Stu Johnson will be there.
The new commissioner. CFL.
If you're a Baumer for Life member, you got to get there around 5:30. You're gonna be one of the first 9,000 in the gate, so you get a free Bombers beach towel because it's a beach theme on June 26th.
Is it?
You get a free beverage when you get to meet Stu. And I am bringing a very honored guest that a bunch of us, many people on this chat, I'm looking at Phyllis, you know who I mean. Tico Napoli knows who I mean. Comet, Jeff Kabilis. His name is Callum, and he's also known as Slick. He is from England, Darrin.
Yeah.
He became a fan of the Jets, got into the Winnipeg sports community, got to be friends with a lot of our listeners on Winnipeg Sports Talk, and he came to watch a Jets game in I think late March. He loved it so much that he's coming back. And I said, you got to come to a Bomber game with me. So he's coming to sit in section 128.
Love that.
We're gonna tackle a Walby burger together, and hopefully we're gonna get someone to videotape that. I want to see his face when he sees the Walby burger. I think it's gonna be a blast, and we're gonna try and get out to some fan tailgates out in the parking lot as well. So if you've got a fan tailgate and you want us to come check it out on behalf of Bonfire, at me, DM me, whatever, on social media at Zach Schnitzer 48, and we'll try and make it work. But I don't know if you can come into because the Bombers tailgate thing with the commish starts at 5:30. I don't know if we can come in there and then leave and go back out to the parking lot. I'll have to ask Carol, but
to be determined.
To be DBD. I'm very excited, and I think it's going to be fun.
No doubt that's going to be fun.
Yep.
Great to see everybody in the live chat. Absolutely love all of you fire starters bringing it every single show. Pregame with Chris Walby, Game Day Winnipeg, live right around 3:15, coming out of WST the day before the game. But you can watch us anytime afterwards. And then, of course, right here on Game Day After Dark with myself, you, the great Zach Schnitzer, who is speaking in the third person today. My goodness.
Yeah.
No, I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, we had a lot of fun tonight. Big hat tip to Zeno, Zachary Nolan of the Nolan Hockey Podcast. You're welcome, buddy. Taking care of Ruby out there on the other side of the lab, as we call it, the Bonfire Sports Studios. And if you want to follow any of us on social media or follow Bonfire Sports on social media, Bonfire WPG, Bonfire Winnipeg, right? Bonfire WPG And if you want to follow us on X or Twitter, it's a great place to start. You can find Schnitzy's handle there, my handle there, Chris WALBY'S handle there. We'll get you following Zach Nolan, Zeno, and the Nolan Hockey Podcast. If you're into, some nice hockey content for the fans, by the fans. Do I have a permit? Nope. I don't, but we're indoors, so it's okay because it ain't leaving these walls. The bonfire always rages, so be sure to check us out. Lots of new stuff on Instagram at BonfireWPG. And if you're unsure where to go, BonfireSports.ca. BonfireSports.ca is where you'll go, and you'll find everything there. Schnitzy, final word to you following a Bombers win 2 straight to start the 2025 season, 27-14 in Van City tonight.
Well, you know, my favorite phrase in all of Bomber fandom is this: BC sucks ×2. Edmonton, we're coming for you. Sayonara, everybody.